Hi, doctor.
Hi, Nitibha.
How are you?
All good. How have you been?
They're both wearing white, so yay.
Yeah,
We didn't plan this, guys. This was like totally by accident. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How's it going?
all well.
All
And
well.
how's everybody
Great.
else doing? How is everybody doing? I think there's already a lot
Uh,
of people who've joined.
your voice is breaking. Yeah, your voice is breaking a little. Let me just move back a little so I can. Yeah, now it's good.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
so, doctor. कैसा चल रहा है lockdown? How's lockdown been for you? Okay, there's some network issue, I think, on my end or आपके यहाँ पे? कुछ network issue है, doctor. I don't know, guys, is it on my end or is it on doctor's end? Can you write on the comments?
Nitibha.
डॉक्टर आपका ना वो राउंड राउंड ऐसे हाँ आपका वीडियो ऐसे राउंड राउंड आ रहा है इज इट माय नेटवर्क और इज इट योर्स मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा
I don't know because mine is clear.
है आप
Mine
यू कैन सी मी
is
क्लियरली
good. Yeah. All good.
ओके so there's a little bit of a lag in your network okay okay so people are saying it's on your end doctor
All right. So give me a minute. I'll just check.
आपके यहाँ पे network का can you switch to the network to some other network it's
I'll
doctor's
just
side yeah
check the network once. I'll just check the network once.
sure okay guys thank you I know it's doctor's side of the network thank you for letting me know but what's been up with you guys I mean I know a lot of people are interested in this topic because skincare is something that all of us I believe at some level or the other feel super passionate about and yeah I would suggest that if you have any questions for doctor or for me anything related to skincare then please leave it in the question speech bubble section on the bottom right corner of your screen there's a speech bubble with a question mark just click on that and write in your questions and we're going to keep the session super duper interactive the session is for you guys and to answer your questions so yes I think I'm going to request doctor to join again she had some network issues so give a second give me a second English में कुछ हो जाता है मेरी लाइफ में जाके okay guys okay doctor I'm waiting for you to see your live request and then I'll add you on guys sorry we're just waiting for doctor to join in sometimes yeah like this technology thing makes you feel like so handicapped you're like kya kare like what to do but I guess it is what it is okay I still can't see doctor sorry guys nope doctor please send me a request okay I'm I'm trying to add doctor, but I don't see her on the list of requests here. Okay. Should we end the live and start it again? What do we do, you guys? Should we end the live, start a new one, or should we wait for doctor? बताओ, आप लोग बताओ. Okay, there I see her. Finally. This time I hope it works. Hi, doctor.
Hi.
Yes. Yes, now you're perfect.
All right.
Okay, awesome. So, doctor, I've asked people to put in their questions in the question section. So, thodi der mein we'll answer those questions. But I just wanted to start off, with a conversation around me and my skincare issues that I, have been discussing with you on and off. So, the one thing that I really wanted to ask you, which is something that I've not been very sure of, is how to distinguish my morning skincare routine from my nighttime skincare routine. Like, are there products that I should not use, during night, and are there products that I should only use during day? Like, any suggestions on that?
Yeah. So there are different products for morning and evening. And morning usually we do antioxidants and we do sunscreen and pore refiners. And then evening they are the heavier molecules, like you can do glycolic acid and maybe retinols. You can do they're totally different molecules that we do for morning and evening. Also, most of the times, the ones that you do in the evening are the ones that are not recommended for, you cannot expose your skin to sunlight when you're using those products. And
Right.
then it depends on your skin type, on your skin concerns also. And so if we talk about antioxidants also, it has to be according to your skin type, your skin concern. If you want something for blemishes, a little bit of anti-aging, and for glow, maybe a vitamin C serum as an antioxidant in the morning. And if you want something which is because you have a little bit of post-acne redness or your skin is oily, you want something for open pores, then there's niacinamide. So there are different antioxidant serums for morning. And similarly, we have a lot of different sunscreens also.
Right.
Again, sunscreens are according to your skin type and skin concerns.
Right. So, is sunscreen this is another very popular question. Is sunscreen that something people should be using even when they're indoors? And I know the answer to that, but I just want you to tell everyone.
Yes. So sunscreen is something that you have to apply even while you're indoors, even if you're not going out, because the tube lights, the bulbs, the microwave lights, the laptop lights also can cause a lot of damage to your skin. And especially people who are more prone to freckling or they have a little bit of redness on their skin, they should apply sunscreens. And then there are different sunscreens. So there's chemical sunscreen, there's physical sunscreen. Physical sunscreens are the ones that are low on chemicals and they are less harsh to your skin. And the physical sunscreens are the ones that they give a longer sun protection and a stronger sun protection. So that's what I would recommend to somebody who's more prone to freckling, or if the skin is sensitive, they can't apply a lot of chemical products. So physical sunscreens is something that they should do.
Okay. So basically sunscreen, very important. Having a separate morning and a nighttime routine, very important. And of course, there are differences that will be there in the products that you have to use depending on your skin type, right? Like, so oily, acne prone, combination, dry, normal skin. So is there a huge difference in the products that these people should be using, like these different skin types should be using, or there are some products which overlap in all of these skin types?
Yeah, so for sunscreens, I would suggest there are a lot of gel-based sunscreens, water-based sunscreens. So these are the ones that I would recommend for oily skin. And for dry skin, there's hyaluronic acid-based sunscreens. There is for pigmentation, there could be a vitamin C-based sunscreen. So there are a lot of other different types of sunscreens. And then like I said, physical sunscreens for people with sensitive skin, for somebody who's exposed to sunburn, sun maybe for longer hours. So such people would require physical sunscreens.
Okay. So can you also explain to everyone what exactly is a physical sunscreen?
Yeah, so physical sunscreen is something that has zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. So it is a stronger sunscreen, has a longer sun protection. But the problem with physical sunscreen is that sometimes people feel that it leaves a little bit of white cast on your skin. So
Yes.
most people are not very happy with this sunscreen, which
Yeah.
is why we have tinted sunscreens also. So tinted sunscreens are the ones that have iron oxide. So iron oxide is an equally good physical blocker, and at the same time, iron oxide gives your sunscreen a peach tint. So it suits almost all of us
Almost
with
all
Indian
skin types.
complexion, and people like the peach tint also. It's comfortable to wear, and you don't so obviously you don't need the white cast sunscreen, and so there are stronger sunscreens and with a peach tint.
And can you suggest a few good physical sunscreens? A lot of people are asking in the comments.
Yeah, so I've done a video on physical sunscreens also. I've done a full video where I've told you everything about each brand that I would suggest for an oily skin, for dry skin, something with a vitamin C, something that has a hyaluronic acid. So I've told everything about all the brands, and there in this video I have told about the physical sunscreen also. So the video is available on my IGTV, and it's also there on my YouTube handle, which is Dadu Medical Center. Also, I've done a video on tinted sunscreens also, budget to luxury. So
Okay. So
there's a
find
full
all
range
the
of tinted
sunscreen
sunscreens. Yes.
recommendations on Dr.
Yes.
Dadu's YouTube.
So
and
if you want to watch that video. Yeah.
Okay, doctor, lots of questions already. Like we have almost 100 questions plus. So let's quickly start because people are getting annoyed. Why aren't you answering our questions? So, okay, I'm just going to randomly pick out a few questions and then you can maybe start answering them because a lot of people have queries. Okay. Okay, this is acne related question. Diksha Bhatt is asking, ma'am, I have acne on back and shoulder and have marks over my back. Can you suggest what should I use to reduce my acne marks? And I'm just going to turn on the AC, doctor, while you answer this question. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you have acne on the back, it could be because of dandruff. That's the most important cause. Also, if somebody is on whey protein, they can have a lot of acne on the forehead and the upper back. And also, sometimes the acne could be hormonal. So if it's not your diet, or if it's not, if you don't have any dandruff, then it could be a hormonal acne also. So, of course, a lot of people would say that they have absolutely normal period cycle. But you could still have hormonal acne even if your periods are regular. And if you have dandruff, you need a dandruff shampoo. And the most important thing that I would want to suggest here is that you should switch to dairy-free products. That's the most important thing for acne, because a lot of dairy products have insulin-like growth factor that makes your skin very oily, and it's going to increase your acne also. So if you can cut down on your dairy, curd, cottage cheese, and whey protein also, which is a dairy supplement, and then maybe switch to almond milk and soy milk. That's one very important thing. And then a dandruff shampoo. And then if you have acne on the back, you start using soaps that have sulfur. So sulfur-based soaps are for body acne. So that's very important thing that you can do.
Awesome. Doctor is like on fire. Like she's tuck, answers ready. So let's take it. It's good now. Then we can answer most people. Okay. Okay, I think this is going to be a very common question. Even I have pigmentation on my face, which you can't see with all these amazing Insta filters. But okay, Chinu is asking how to remove pigmentation from our face. Remove to nahi ho sakta na, doctor?
So pigmentation, whatever dullness, uneven skin tone, tanning you have, that can be removed with the creams and with the lasers and peels and a lot of things which I'm going to tell you. But remember that we cannot change your complexion. That's something that you are born with. So we cannot change the color that you are born with. But if there is uneven skin tone, tanning, dullness, pigmentation, which could be because of certain vitamin deficiencies, it could be because there could be a hormonal issue. A lot of times thyroid can lead to pigmentation, vitamin B12 deficiency can lead to pigmentation. So that's one thing. And then, of course, there is the right skincare routine that you start following. So if you start applying safe skin lightening creams. Now, safe skin lightening creams are the creams that do not have steroids and they do not have hydroquinone. So there are a lot of creams available in the market which are safe. They are absolutely safe. So you start applying those creams and remember to apply a sunscreen in the morning. So these are the two things that you do. And if this does not help, then of course there are blood investigations. You need to see a dermatologist. And I have done a video on the safe skin lightening creams that are available in India. So that video is also again available on my IGTV, and it's available on my YouTube handle also, which is Dadu Medical Center.
Okay, great. Another question, and remind me, doctor, have I ever taken isotretinoin?
Yeah, I think you have. You've taken isotretinoin for a very short duration.
Very short duration. So she's asking, I've been suggested to take isotretinoin for my acne. Is it Accutane? I don't know what that means. Will it cause purging?
So isotretinoin is Accutane.
What does Accutane mean and purging?
Accutane is the brand name of isotretinoin. Isotretinoin is the generic name of the medicine. Okay. So isotretinoin dries your glands from within. So it's going to, you will feel that your lips become a little dry. The skin starts drying up, and whatever active acne you have, they will start drying up. You will stop getting fresh acne. But what you should know is that you cannot donate blood till 3 months of stopping the medicine. You should not conceive. So we cannot recommend isotretinoin to somebody who's pregnant or lactating or planning to conceive. And so since she was talking about purging, so purging is something that's going to happen if you have a lot of comedones. So if somebody has a lot of whiteheads, then they may not be the right candidate for isotretinoin. For everybody else, your dermatologist would know what to do to avoid purging also. So when we see the skin, and then we understand, what will happen if this person takes isotretinoin. So there are other things that we add to the prescription to avoid purging also.
So this is another question that even I have. Somebody's asking homemade remedies for acne, and because a lot of people have this perception कि यार घर के नुस्खे better होते हैं, dermatologist के पास मत जाओ, दवाइयाँ मत खाओ, face पे दवाइयाँ मत लगाओ, and ये allopathy मत करो, घर के नुस्खे चलाओ. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of DIYs that you can do, but if of course the DIYs are not helping, then you need to see a dermatologist. So for DIYs, that depends on your skin type. So when I say skin type, remember that it is not always an oily skin. If you have acne, does not mean you have an oily skin. We see a lot of people every day who have dry skin and they still have acne. So which is why all the home remedies of Multani Mitti and Besan and everything, these products, they extract oil from your glands, and which is why they're very effective for as home remedies. But if you have a dry skin and you still have acne, please don't use Besan and Multani Mitti. It's going to disrupt the skin barrier. The skin is going to become drier and you will not see any improvement. So I've done videos on DIYs also for acne, for open pores and everything.
Popularly asked questions already.
Yeah, so that video is again available on my YouTube handle and my IGTV.
Okay. Okay. Somebody is asking how to. Yeah. So I know this because I'm in the glamour world. So I know a lot of people have major issues with their under eye circles. Like they cannot step out without concealer. So Komal is asking if there is a solution to genetic dark circles between eyes and nose, which luckily I don't have a lot of. So I mean,
But if the dark circles are heredity, then a lot of times you will have dark circles on the upper eyelid as well as the lower eyelid and the corners of the eyes also. And in which case, most of the creams don't work. But one thing that I've seen that works on my patients is vitamin K. Because vitamin K has this property of, it's used to treat bruises. So it's like when somebody has a lot of dark circles, like they're purple or gray in color, then I've seen good improvement with vitamin K based creams. So that's also one thing that is going to help you. So that you can try. And for dark circles, of course, all the lifestyle changes, you have to take a healthy diet. There could be an iron deficiency or a B12 deficiency that leads to dark circles. So you have to get your blood test. Remember that alcohol and smoking also reduces the blood supply around the eyes. So that's also going to make you look, the eye area look tired and fatigued. So that's also something that you can see. So if you want some recommendations for under eye creams, they're available on my YouTube handle and IGTV. I've done a lot of videos on the popular under eye creams also.
Okay. Okay, this is another common question because see, there are so many serums available, not serums available in the market, and like, you know, a lot of them are probably not good for your skin but have been advertised to show that they're good. So what is a genuinely good 20s nighttime serum according to you?
Yeah. So vitamin C is something that I would recommend unless you have a very sensitive skin or you have redness, post-acne redness, open pores and oily skin, and in which case that is your primary concern, then niacinamide would be a good serum. But if for a general skincare routine, for a nice glow, I would suggest vitamin C serums. So that's something that's going to, that has mild anti-aging, very good for glow, and improves the cell turnover. It's going to build a little bit of collagen, just what you need in your 20s.
Okay. Now, I don't know what melasma is, but somebody is asking how to cure melasma. Suggest some products. What is melasma, doctor?
Yeah, so melasma is a problem where you have pigmentation on the cheeks. It's a stubborn pigmentation. Some people can have it on the above the brows, also on the nose, on the upper lip. So that's a pigmentation, that's a pattern of pigmentation. It is usually hormonally dependent, which means it could happen when you're pregnant, during your pregnancy, because of the hormonal changes. It could happen if somebody has a thyroid disorder. It could happen if you've been on oral contraceptives, because that also brings a hormonal change. And then there could be problems that can happen to men also. So they don't have those hormonal changes, but they can still have melasma. So in such cases, you have to apply a physical sunscreen, which we've already discussed, and you can apply skin lightening creams. A lot of skin lightening creams that are available for melasma are triple combination, which means they have a lot of steroids. So those are not the ones that I would recommend, but there are a lot of other skin lightening creams like I just mentioned. Plus I've done a full video on melasma also. So maybe they can just go and watch that video and understand what melasma is.
Absolutely.
And how you can treat melasma.
Yeah, like you're covering the basic pointers here, and for in-depth.
I will, yeah. So because it's very difficult to answer everybody's question. And so there was somebody who was asking about vitamin C serums also. I just saw. So there was somebody who wanted to know about a vitamin C serum. So we can maybe discuss vitamin C, since that's a very common topic. So vitamin C serums also, there are a lot of vitamin C's available in the market. So there is the vitamin C that has L-ascorbic acid, which is the most common type of vitamin C.
Should I go grab mine also, the one that I sent to you? I just want to check. So it's nice exercise for me also.
Yeah.
Actually, it's right here because I had pulled it out. So this one you told me is okay for me, right?
Yeah. So Drunk Elephant is very good. And then since Drunk Elephant is not easily available in India, so there is a lot of other vitamin C's. Also, there are a lot of people who have sensitive skin and they cannot apply the normal regular L-ascorbic acid based vitamin C serums. So for such people,
it has 15%
L-ascorbic acid.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So L-ascorbic acid is one variety of vitamin C. Then there are other variants also, like this is a molecular formulation. Right. So for somebody with a normal skin, this is perfect. But for this very little population who have sensitive skin and they still want to apply a vitamin C, I would suggest magnesium ascorbyl phosphate. That's something that you have to look for. So instead of L-ascorbic acid, your vitamin C should have magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, which is another popular type of vitamin C. Very few of them available in India. Ordinary is one of the brands that has a magnesium ascorbyl phosphate that is available in India. And then, of course, I've done a video from budget to luxury vitamin C serums that you can choose from. So that's according to your skin type, your skin concern, your budget. And so because people with oily skin would also want a vitamin C, and then there are people with dry skin, people with sensitive skin. So there's a vitamin C for all of us.
So is this okay for someone with acne prone skin like me? Like
Yes,
I mean,
this
I
is
do
good.
have acne prone.
Yes, yes. Yours is good.
But what is sensitive? Like how would you define my skin as sensitive skin? What does sensitive
No.
skin mean?
So sensitivity does not mean that if you're breaking out when you're applying some product does not mean that your skin is sensitive.
Huh.
So that's one thing. But then the most common definition of a sensitive skin would be if you cannot apply bleach on your face, if the skin turns red when you go out in the sun, or if you cannot, the normal regular products that all of us are applying, if somebody cannot apply those regular products, then maybe the skin is sensitive. So in which case you require products that are maybe low on chemicals, and then there are different products that you should apply.
So just because if I have acne and the areas where I have acne are turning red, that doesn't mean that it's sensitive, because it would mean it's sensitive if normally also it would turn red.
Normal, yes. So normally also it is going to become red, then it is, and with the things that others can do easily, but you cannot apply those products, then, or maybe you cannot go out in the sun, then your skin is sensitive. But acne is something that maybe sometimes people have a little bit of hidden comedones and whiteheads, they don't know. And then the moment they start applying something that's increasing the cell turnover, they start breaking out. So they feel that they're sensitive to the product. But sometimes it is possible that the product is okay, your skin is okay, but then there is some whiteheads or something that you have to get removed. And then once you get them extracted, and then you can apply those products.
Okay. So this is another very, very common question. Like a lot of people have questions about niacinamide. So somebody's asking, Simran is asking, can you tell us the difference between various serums like alpha-arbutin and niacinamide, etc.?
Yeah. So alpha-arbutin is, personally, I feel alpha-arbutin is milder. It's my favorite because there are a lot of people who, almost everybody can apply alpha-arbutin and see results also. But there are very few who can apply niacinamide. Trust me, I've seen a lot of allergies to niacinamide serums also. A lot of people, when they don't realize what kind of skin they have and they buy niacinamide serums and start applying, assuming that it's going to work for them, they feel some tingling sensation, some burning sensation after applying niacinamide. And also here for niacinamide, since there are two different formulations that are available in India, there is a 10% niacinamide that is easily available, and there is a 4%, 5% niacinamide also, which a lot of people don't know about. But I personally feel that unless you are super confident about your skin, and unless you know you've been trying a lot of products, you should start with maybe the 4% niacinamide, see how well it is doing, and then increase it to 10%.
Cool. And doctor, in case you have any questions that you see in the comments that you want to pick up and talk about, like feel free to let me know, like, because I'm just like selecting questions from the question section. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, this is my question also, because even a lot of brands keep sending me, like collagen boosters, collagen powders. So is collagen powder effective? Get the Vale is asking, if taken in early 30s, does it have any effect on aging skin?
Yes. So collagen powders are good. There are collagen shots also available.
Yeah.
They increase the collagen production also. They trigger collagen production. They are going to work on the existing collagen also. And they're definitely good. I suggest collagen supplements in 30s. You can start collagen supplements in your 30s. But like I always say, I would suggest you to keep changing your supplements. So maybe what you can do is take collagen supplements for 3 months in a year, then maybe do some other supplement like a biotin or a zinc supplement, maybe do a glutathione or a minoxidil supplement. So there are a lot of supplements that you can do. Keep changing your supplements and it should really work, because everybody's skin requires almost everything, and we should not overdo anything also.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Again, another question that even I have with you often is acne marks, because now earlier when I was younger, I used to get acne and they used to fade away in a couple of months. But now after my acne goes away, it takes some time and there are like spots remaining. Thankfully, I don't have that bad that, it leaves those dents and scars. but I do see brown spots now. So how to get rid of acne marks?
Yeah. So, but she's not mentioned if the spots are red or brown. So, if your spots, I'm assuming if they're brown spots, then, like I said, the safe skin lightening creams, alpha arbutin, glycolic acid, kojic acid, there are a lot of these molecules, licorice, which you can apply. They're absolutely safe, totally steroid free and hydroquinone free, and these you can apply on the marks, and this should fade away. And obviously you have to apply a sunscreen in the morning. But if your marks are red in color, then maybe the acne is still active, and if the marks are red, there are more chances of scarring. So we have to avoid the scarring also, in which case it becomes something that you have to do ASAP. So treat the redness. There are a lot of creams that are available for scars and redness also, and I have done a lot of videos on the scar creams, the mark creams, so they can watch that video and maybe choose the right product according to their budget and according to their the problem
requirement, right? Okay. Kalra Anshu is asking, is it essential to apply moisturizer after serum even if your skin is oily? Very common question and common misconception.
Yeah. So I usually tell everybody that most of the serums are such that they are going to evaporate. They're going to, when they evaporate, they're going to take away the moisture from your skin also. So unless in very few cases when your sunscreen is greasy, then it may do a proper sealing of your skin. But otherwise, for something like hyaluronic acid, it's an absolute must. You cannot skip the moisturizer, because hyaluronic acid should be applied on a damp skin, and then you leave it for some time, and then immediately apply a moisturizer to seal the hyaluronic acid. Otherwise, the hyaluronic acid is going to evaporate, and then it takes away the moisture. Is that it's not about the moisturizer, it's about choosing the right moisturizer according to your skin type. So there are a lot of moisturizers available these days for people with oily skin. A lot of people feel that since they have an oily skin, they don't require a moisturizer, which is a wrong concept. Everybody requires a moisturizer. It's like conditioner. So everybody requires a conditioner. A lot of people ask that I have very silky, smooth hair. Do I require a conditioner? So moisturizer is like conditioner for hair. You have to do it. You cannot avoid. It's only about finding the right moisturizer for your skin type. I've done a video on the budget to luxury moisturizers for oily skin and budget to luxury moisturizers for dry skin. So there are a lot of good moisturizers available in India, which are they're amazing for oily skin. It's just about finding the right moisturizer. But do not skip the step. It is important to apply a moisturizer even before your sunscreen.
And one moisturizer that I think I've personally used a lot and I found really well, it has worked well for me, and it's generally I've heard good reviews about it, is Clinique Moisture Surge. Right?
Yeah. So Clinique Moisture Surge is a good moisturizer.
Okay. Yeah. So somebody's asking, Dikshant Shandia, I get redness and itching on my skin after just 10 minutes of exposure to the sun. Even sunscreen can't help. So this is a case of hypersensitive skin, right?
Yeah. So this is called rosacea. So rosacea is a problem where your skin turns red on exposure to sun, or even after applying a sunscreen. So such people have to wear physical blockers. So he'll have to check if the sunscreen that he's applying is chemical sunscreen or physical. It has to be a physical sunscreen, something that has zinc oxide and iron oxide or titanium dioxide. And so that's number one. Also, you'll have to wear broad brimmed hats and avoid sun exposure. That's one thing. Such people may also notice redness sometimes on certain other things also that increase the blood supply to your face. So anything that increases the blood supply on your face is going to increase the sensitivity. Like he's mentioning the sunscreen, there are a couple of other things also. So I just wanted to mention the list here. So alcohol consumption can increase the redness on your skin. If you eat hot, spicy food, that's going to increase the blood supply on your face and increase the redness and sensitivity. Or when you get angry or emotional, when you're crying, that increases the blood supply on your face. That can increase your rosacea. Running on the treadmill can increase, any kind of cardio can increase rosacea. So we can only treat your rosacea, but you'll have to keep following the do's and don'ts all your life. So that's something that he should know. All people with rosacea should know.
All people with rosacea. And even if you're doing any of these activities and you know you're going to do it, so just make sure that you've
Yeah.
sort of lubricated your skin enough to make sure that
Yeah,
it
so
doesn't
follow
get
the
too
right,
overcast.
yeah. So your dermatologist is going to recommend certain products that you can apply, and then we can heal the rosacea also.
Okay. Himanshu from my team has a question. Does PRP scalp treatment have any side effects? And I've done PRP once, like just did one session. Like I'm so bad at my follow-up sessions. But I mean, I didn't have any side effects, but can it have any side effects?
No, no, no. So there are absolutely no side effects. PRP is a procedure where we extract your blood and we centrifuge it, and we extract the platelets which have growth factors. We inject the platelets on your scalp, and it's going to promote hair growth. So it's very good for hair fall and hair growth. There are absolutely no side effects, but it is important that your platelet count should be good. So if you've just recovered from a disease, from an infection, or if you're a smoker, it is good if you quit smoking for 2-3 days, and then the platelet counts becomes better, and then the results will also be superior.
Okay. And another really interesting question, and I have a follow-up question to this. He's asking, does workout cause pimples? And my question is not that, because I know that that's obviously not the case. But my question is, when I go for my workout, right, when I have to go to the gym, or even when I'm working out at home, what should be on my face? Is it important for me to have something, or should it be absolutely clear and free of products, so that जो भी sweating है उससे मतलब I don't understand क्या होना चाहिए मेरा skin care before workout?
Yeah. So if you're going out, going in the morning hours, then of course sunscreen is something that you cannot avoid. So you have to wear a sunscreen. But other than that, I would suggest that you don't apply anything on your face, because we know that you're going to sweat. Yes. And so that's going to, so we don't want any kind of clogging of pores. And a lot of people here, I wanted to mention one very important thing. Workout. So his question was, does workout cause acne? It does not. Yeah. But it is important that if you have a very oily skin, and we know that you're going to sweat, and we know that it's going to clog your pores, so you have to use the right products. It is very important that you use I'm assuming you have a pimple-prone skin, and I'm assuming you have an oily skin. So there are a lot of face washes and thermal spring water sprays. So these are things that you can use to remove the sweat. And here, a lot of people feel that steam is going to improve the skin, which is also not completely true, because steam is going to unclog your pores definitely, but then it is important that you apply something, ice or something on your face that closes the pores also. Otherwise, if the pores remain open, it's going to increase the bacterial infection also. So, but then definitely workout does not increase pimples, but if you are doing a whey protein also, that's going to increase your acne. Whey protein is a definite causative factor for acne.
And what about vegan whey protein?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would recommend. Vegan as a non-dairy, yes. A plant-based protein is what I would recommend. Maybe a pea protein. That's something that you can do.
And like for example, for me, whenever I go working out, I always apply, like I would moisturize and apply sunscreen. And usually my moisturizer is either a tinted moisturizer, or I'll mix a little bit of foundation, because I don't want to go out totally like, bare face. So I'll apply like a little bit tinted moisturizer and then my sunscreen. So does that cause any issue? Can that cause any issues? Because obviously you have a layer on your face. No, na?
No, no, no. So whatever little bit of it you can do, the minimum that is that you can do is what is required. But sunscreen is important if you're going out in the morning. If it's the evening time, then nothing. Maybe just a moisturizer. But try using these the spring water sprays and everything, because they're calming and they're very good for your the face mist and the sprays. They're very good for your skin.
Right. Okay. Doctor, let me know how many questions more you want to take. You're comfortable taking. So then accordingly, I'll pick. Okay. Yeah. Again, one more very common concern a lot of people, including me, have, which is open pores. That, ma'am, I have open pores and have tried many toners. Please suggest the remedy for it.
Yeah. So if you have open pores, you've not mentioned your skin type. It is easier to answer a question when you mention your age, your gender, and your skin type,
Skin type.
especially when the question is regarding your face. So if you, I'm assuming you have an oily skin. For open pores, niacinamide is a very good product. So that's one thing that I would recommend. Most of the times when people with a lot of open pores or people with long-standing open pores may not do well with just the toners and pore refiners. So their pore refiner is a separate entity. They are different from toners. Toners basically were meant to only balance the pH of your skin. Now, of course, since that work is done by face washes, so the toners have also upgraded, and now these days we have toners that are going to work on your pores. But you can maybe try pore refiners instead, which are different from toners, and try niacinamide. Of the toners and pore refiners, I've done a video on that also.
Okay. So I'm going to pin a few. We've answered almost most of the questions from the question section, but I'm seeing a lot of people are writing comments also in the comment section. Also, a lot of people asking questions. I'll just pin a few random questions here. Okay, so I've pinned one. What is the reasons for blind and painful pimples on forehead for PCOD and thyroid patient, and how to treat
Yeah,
it?
so adult female acne, you've not mentioned your age. Adult female acne is usually blind and painful, always, almost always blind, painful acne. That's the definition of adult female acne, something that you have more on the lower half of the face. Unlike the teenage acne, which is more on the cheeks, this is going to be on the lower half of the face. It's going to be more painful. It will not respond to the conventional treatment for acne. You will require something superior, maybe a treatment for PCOD and thyroid, and also simultaneously maybe isotretinoin if you're not planning to conceive. And since you've mentioned forehead here, it could also be because of dandruff. So like I always say, wherever the dandruff falls, it could be the upper back, your shoulders, your forehead, check for dandruff also. Start using anti-dandruff shampoos also.
Okay. I'm going to take two more questions from the comment section, and then maybe we can have a quick roundup discussion about like general tips and tricks to take care of your skin. And yeah, I think then we will cover a lot. Okay, somebody is asking, okay, I'll pin the comment. Somebody's saying, should bio oil be applied on bare face if you're using it as treatment at night? And my question again is it okay for oily, acne prone, sensitive skin people to use, say, oil cleansers, or like the butter that I showed you, the makeup removing butters, and like really oily thick stuff on their face, be it for as a serum, be it as a treatment, be it as a makeup remover?
Yeah. So I don't recommend face oils for oily skin. Unlike what the face oil brands tell you, I don't recommend face oils for oily skin. Also, these makeup removing, the butters and everything, the cleansing balms that you have, that you don't have a choice. If you've done a lot of makeup, you need something that's going to emulsify the product and everything. So that's of course when we don't have a choice. But otherwise, if you feel that whatever makeup you have done, you can remove it with micellar water or maybe a mild cleanser, like something like a Cetaphil gentle cleanser, then that would be something that I would recommend. And they've asked about bio oil, that's also, so you can apply it on bare face and use it in the night. But why would you do that? I mean, when you're putting in a lot of effort on your skincare, might as well apply the right products. Why do you want to apply bio oil, which is meant for stretch marks and may not be the right product, may not be the best product for your skin type, and may not be the best product for your, according to your skin concerns? So
Just because it's
why would you apply bio oil?
Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm saying just because it's a fad and everybody's using
It's a
this
yeah,
product.
exactly. So you know about bio oil, so you are applying it, but maybe you consult a dermatologist, or you there could be a lot of other things that you can do which may do good to your skin, maybe something that is superior to bio oil according to your skin type and skin concerns. But yes, you can apply bio oil. You've not mentioned your skin type. I would not recommend all these things to people with oily skin.
Yeah. And also, doctor, so you said micellar, you should ideally use a micellar water or a mild cleanser. So are you saying that when there's a lot of makeup layers on your face, micellar water, mild cleanser might not penetrate and remove all that makeup? And
Exactly.
need an
So
emulsifying?
that's when, yes, so that's when double cleansing comes into picture. So double cleansing is a method where you're going to first remove your makeup or your sunscreen, the dirt, the pollution, everything that is sticking to your skin. That's the first step in the night. And then you wash your face with the face wash of your choice. So that's called double cleansing. So that's what, so micellar water, even if it is not removing the entire thing, if you've done a lot of eye makeup, there are these days very gentle makeup removers available for the eye makeup, so that's what you can do. And then after you've cleansed your skin with micellar water, you are washing your face with your face wash, so then whatever little bit of product that is remaining on your skin will be washed off.
Okay, doctor, I think that was pretty cool. I mean, we covered a lot of topics, be it pigmentation, acne, be it PRP, like we've covered a lot. So of course I'm going to be saving this live, you guys. But generally, like because we focus so much on, oily acne prone skin, I would also like you to touch upon people with normal skin, with non-problematic skin, with regular skin, who are just generally looking for some tips and tricks to take care of it and to just generally feel good. Because see, a lot of times, and as the topic of this live today was around how skincare can help you not just look better but feel better from within. So what are those general well-being tips that you would give to everyone about skincare?
Yeah, so for a normal regular skincare, when there are absolutely no skin concerns, I would suggest the right moisturizer, which would be for a normal skin, it would be a moisturizer that is glycerine based. So that's the right moisturizer for normal skin. And sunscreens. So sunscreen, there are a lot of sunscreens available these days. It should not be difficult for you to choose the right sunscreen. So a normal regular sunscreen may be something that has a vitamin C. If you're not doing a vitamin C separately, then you can use a sunscreen that has a vitamin C or a hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is another thing that usually most people will not go wrong with this. So if you're applying a hyaluronic acid, even if you have an oily skin, but definitely for somebody with normal skin. And then maybe in the night, you can do retinols. And since a lot of people ask about how many times a week should they apply a retinol if they're in their 30s, and a lot of people ask me if they should start retinol in their 20s. So this I wanted to mention, that what I usually recommend is that if you're in your 20s, after 25, I would suggest that you start retinols. In your 20s, it can be 2 times a week. In your 30s, retinol can be 3 times a week in the night. In your 40s, it can be 4 times a week in the night. And the rest of the days in the night, you can do a glycolic acid, a peptide serum, a vitamin C serum. There's so many things that you can apply on the rest of the days. Maybe just apply a sleeping mask. So that's about the skincare routine for somebody with a normal skin. And of course, there are under eye creams. There are a lot of things that you can add. Under eye creams, even if you don't have dark circles, you can apply under eye creams. Yeah, so you should apply an under eye cream, because that's something that all of us should do, because there's a lot of toxins that are not easily flushed out of our skin because even after a good skincare routine and even after a healthy diet. So a normal under eye cream maybe.
And of course, like eating clean, having a lot of water. At least, what is the minimum? 3 liters, right?
And dairy free. And and chocolates and mangoes. So sugary food also increases a lot of acne. So that's also going to
I recently had like a breakout, so I was just like, okay, what am I doing wrong or different? And then I realized it's mango season, so that is what is happening. But doctor, you have such great skin, so what do you do for your own skincare? Let everybody know that.
Yeah, so I'm right now I'm applying a peptide serum that has a vitamin C. That's what I'm doing in the morning. Of course, I've been applying sunscreen since the last 15-20 years, so that's the most important thing. And in the night, I'm doing retinol. I'm also doing, since I have hereditary dark circles, so I'm also applying under eye cream twice a day. So that's what I'm doing. And right now, I'm doing glutathione because a lot of times I've seen when I do, a lot of my patients also tell me that when they do glutathione for a very short course, also the skin starts glowing. So that's what I'm doing currently. But then I keep changing, maybe a collagen supplement for a few months, and then I maybe a minoxidil for a few months. So I keep changing my supplements also.
So also guys, of course, Dr. Dadu practices in Delhi. So in case anybody wants to actually, like, I feel like after this live, I'm feeling like I need to sit down with her and really discuss everything about my skincare routine and the products, because you know it's not easy to have the right routine fixed for you. So in case you're looking at consulting a good dermatologist, of course she's there. So, and how can they reach you? They through your social media or through
Yeah,
your
so you
website?
can contact us through our website, or you can call us on the official numbers, which are 99585-73501 or 9810939319, or you can drop a message on my Instagram handle, which is Dadu Skin Clinic, and my team will get back to you. And we are doing a lot of, these days, we are doing online consultations also. So just in case you are interested in a video consultation, we can do that also.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Doctor. This was super duper informative. I'm, of course, going to save this live. And thank you for your time and for all the knowledge that you shared. And I'll
I
see you in
loved
the
it
clinic
too.
soon.
Yeah, yeah, I loved it. I totally loved it. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Take care,
joining.
Doctor. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
stay
Thank you for
safe.
joining.
Yeah.
Bye.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.